Oh, excuse me. I'm going through all the trash of Love is Blind Season 5, and I think I have found 2 conversations that weren't so bad, 2 lessons in love that we can learn from. Join me in the episode where I need to break down all the trash and get to something that might kind of look like a good relationship. Welcome to Reality TV Therapy with me, Dr. Diane. Welcome back. If you don't know my channel, I don't usually like to do trash talk. I want to talk about love. And I was just struggling, but I want to do a video on anything that resembles good communication skills in couples, because there's got to clearly be something that's worth our time, our investment. And I want to uncover what that is. What makes for a success couple versus a hot mess couple? The one conversation that I saw, I'm not even sure what episode it was actually with Izzy and Stacy that I think actually was good. Okay. Do you remember when they get back from Mexico? So I actually, in the pods, I liked Stacy. I thought she was a secure, functioning person. I think she just tells it like it is. She's just real. I do think that she probably started out with a good start. Sounds like her parents are divorced now, but I thought that Stacy just was, again, what you see is what you get. Izzy, on the other hand, I said already in my last video that I thought he had an anxious attachment style, that he's going to be somebody who, and I predicted this from the beginning, kind of says anything because he's like so in love with love. But here's the good partnering that I saw. So they're in his apartment and she's getting upset by the plates. Okay. I did a little poll about this on Instagram. Like, is this an instant go to jail for you if someone has plastic cups and spoons? Or is this eat the food anyway? And interesting enough, most people, 75% of you said eat the food, right? Like, who cares? Having said that, I do think some people, I know, use plastic plates, not that it's environmentally friendly, but because they don't have a dishwasher or they don't want to do the dishes. So there might be other reasons here. But what I think is really happening here in this convo is that Stacy's upset that Izzy is really trying to say, I've had previous relationships. The whole interaction about the lost and found. And the mistake that Stacy made is she's using the golden rule. I got rid of all the things because I wouldn't want you to feel that way. Of course, we all have a history, but I would clear that out, and I kind of presumed you would. But Izzy doesn't. For whatever reason, maybe he is feeling insecure. I'm going to get to that. But what I like is then she gets so upset, she walks out. You can see that she's agitated, she's dysregulated, her heart rate's probably up. And what I liked is how Izzy goes to her. That was good partnering. He goes to her outside, he comes from behind and kind of holds her and says, I'm not giving up on you. Good job, Izzy. That was good partnering. When your partner is stressed out, one thing we can learn from successful couples, we call them master couples, not disaster couples, is that they calm each other down. And I liked that Izzy did that. He said to her, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to fight for you. And that's what she needed to hear. So I felt like that was really good. That was like the one good moment. Wow, this is good. Good coupling. That he checks in with her. He helps to calm her down. They talk through that. And there's this feeling in this couple that like we're having hard conversations, but we're getting through it. Doesn't mean I think they're going to end up together, but I do think that was a good moment. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, I think Lydia and Milton, I actually really enjoyed watching Milton with Lydia's family. Lydia, as we know, is you either like her or you don't. She is a lot of love, honestly. She's got a huge personality. Her family knows it. Everyone appreciates that she's kind of loud. She's just like her mother. But the moment that I thought went really well is when Milton, and you saw him like take a breath, and he said, I always wanted a family like this. Like, they're warm and they're inviting him in and accepting him. And they show us in the previews that Milton's family is not going to feel the same towards Lydia. Like, what is our 24, 25-year-old son doing with a 30, 32-year-old? But I don't get the feeling that that's going to hold a lot of weight, because I don't get the feeling that Milton is getting that closeness and that connection from his family. And he's told us these relationships were already fractured. So I really do think that Milton and Lydia, odd enough, are going to make it because they're both smart. They both have science in common. They both have really excelled, and they both like really want this. And it doesn't matter that Lydia didn't like his rugs and all that other stuff. It doesn't matter what happened with Lydia and Uche. I do think that there's something sweet about this couple, that she's anxious and he grounds her and he says, I'm not going anywhere. And the second thing that Milton said is, I've got your back. Or she said, I like that you've got my back. A second sign, successful couples have each other's back. So those were the two things amongst all the mess, the things that I liked. Okay. So now let's talk about all the things wrong with this season. I have back-end relationships with people where some are saying it's really the people who are seeking clout and they didn't get a good cast. Other people are clearly saying that it's production, just throwing this whole thing under the bus. What do we know? Well, we know that season 4 and season 5 were filmed at the same time. Here's what I understand how the pods work. They literally pick up and move from city to city. They're there for 10 days in the pod. They film the rest. They go to Mexico, etc. But they're closely filming all of this kind of together in 2 seasons at once. So this was filmed a long time ago, season 4 and 5, because 4's already come out. Now, we're going to see what happens with 6 and 7, but I just feel like they went for, I said in my last video, they went for drama over love, and I don't think it's going to pay off because you're going to lose your audience. If I didn't see this as my job, I would not be watching. I'm so turned off by so many things and trying to deduce who's a good person, who isn't, who's the villain. I just feel like we've got a bunch of villains, and I don't even know what to make of that. Okay, let me talk a little bit about Uche. I feel like Uche, we knew who he was from the beginning. Even in my drop on who I think these people are, I said that he himself just comes out and says that he's very blunt. That could be, I'm going to speak my mind and I don't care who I hurt, right? That's not a great thing. But there were glimmers when he repaired with Aaliyah. He said, so you're a recent cheater, blunt. But then he repaired and said, you're right. What can I do to make you feel safer? I thought that was brilliant. Okay, that was in the first 4 episodes. Now, I don't know what's happening with Uche. I feel like in his attorney way, he's arguing the point, oh, but here, Lydia, I have information that you were stalking me. And he's missing kind of the fine points, right? He's missing she said, dude, I don't want to know. I hope you're happy. I'm happy. Leave me alone. Do not want to hear your advice. But he keeps going. And I'm hoping that Uche can grow from this. It's really more his tone. It's not what he says. It's how he says it. People are picking up on some kind of sort of arrogance, kind of judgment. I do think now we find out, we see all of his Instagram posts and his stories. He clearly says things that last episode with him and Aaliyah, when he was saying to her, technically they kissed and decided to date offline, but really they edited it to say that I can't do this anymore, we're over. Like, wow, again, how many people, good people, are going to go on the show if this turns out to be true? So, not a good look, not good choices. And what I said last time, which I stand by, is like, if they had just come out, if Uche could have just come to Aaliyah and said, I dated Lydia, Please be careful about anything that she says. All of this could have been averted. It really could have. But supposedly, again, they were told not to say anything. They were going to kick them both out of the show, and they both had connections they wanted to see through. So it's just a shame. I feel like Aaliyah is the one who really gets the short end of the shift here, because they had a beautiful relationship in the pods, and now it's really soiled that. And then it's soiled the rest of the cast too, because it's no longer an experiment. So that whole mess, I can't find a silver lining. I can't find anything good about that. My only hope is that everyone involved kind of learns from that. I really wish Aaliyah the best. She seems like a really sweet person who's beautiful and has like a singing career. And I hope she also trusts her gut and speaks up for herself more, because Aaliyah, I actually would have wanted her to stay and kind of fight and confront him more. And I hope she learns that out of the experiment. And most people learn after the fact. Okay, I just got to end with JP and Taylor. So many people have been triggered by this situation because, and I felt like fooled by JP. I at one time called him PJ. It's JP. He appeared pretty normal, or at least he looked like a nice guy. And in the pods, he was quiet, didn't say much, but firefighter, you kind of project onto that, like, good guy. Yeah, he wears red, white, and blue, but like, is he just all-American, kind of a nice guy? Though he was quiet and there were clearly moments. And we saw in the reveal that there was clearly something wrong. The kiss was too aggressive. Taylor immediately said she was looking for somebody maybe with better teeth. I did a whole post about this, like the girl math versus the boy math. And the girl math is kind of like how girls lie to themselves. Like, oh, I wish he had good teeth. Boy math is kind of like lying to other people, which I find sort of an interesting analogy. Like, here's where we get into, he's sabotaging. I just don't know how else to think about it. Here's what I think psychologically is happening. JP doesn't know what she looks like, says he has no vision of that. They meet at the reveal. He thinks, wow, she's gorgeous, because she is. Her face is beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. She's a sweetheart, school teacher, and he somehow doesn't feel good enough. And this conjures up from him thoughts from childhood of protecting his sisters. He said his mother was angry, never feeling good enough that he could save them. I think he somehow thought maybe she was more wounded, but then he meets her and thinks, oh my gosh, am I ready for this? So now he finds the one little nugget that he can that is negative, her makeup. Let's talk about her makeup. Something that could easily be washed off. You know, I can wash off my makeup. I'm not wearing it all the time. And here she is, beautiful Taylor in Mexico, not wearing any makeup. We see her mostly without her makeup. And that's all he can talk about, is how traumatized he was because a little bit of makeup got on his shirt. That she put so much effort into looking nice for him. You want to like impress your fiance. What he could have said, he could have just said, listen, you're so beautiful. I love you better without makeup. But then we're like back and forth. Now, here's the thing. I thought Taylor wasn't that attracted to him either. Okay, in the girl math part. And she wanted an out too. But here's what I'm also thinking. Maybe he could have converted this. We all know women who are looking for a certain guy, but they are so enamored with you, they love you so much that they can convert you into a believer. And the fact that he didn't, and all he could say is, don't quit on me. But he didn't give a reason to keep trying. He didn't say, oh my God, I was so nervous. You're so beautiful. I love you so much. Like all the sugar butt stuff that we saw before. He didn't calm her down. So the master couple calms your partner down. The disaster couple says, what's wrong with you? You're fake. That's where he just made her feel worse. That's what we can learn. Be the master couple. Calm your partner down. Make them feel good. Make them feel secure. Make them feel beautiful. But if you're going to start to nitpick over things like that, it's not going to end well. And when you don't have the foundation of a relationship, it's just going to blow up. Okay. So all I can say with these two baby examples of okay interactions, what do I think? My predictions are yes, that Lydia and Milton are going to both say yes. I don't know, other people on my stories didn't think so, but I do. I think that moment that Milton kind of bought into the family, I think Lydia knows that she's a lot. I think she feels like maybe Milton is workable, moldable. He's young. They both are ambitious and smart and want the same thing. I kind of see that working. And also, you know, women live longer. Sometimes a younger man is not a bad choice. And she's not talking about it as much. Jessica and Mark were, Jessica kept talking about how young he is. I've heard her mention it a couple times, but now she stopped. So that's my prediction. The rest, I just don't think are going to make it. I think Izzy and Stacy, I think he just can't make up for lost time. He can't make up money he doesn't have. I think the family, also that was weird, right? The father trying to be like Hugh Hefner. He's like sitting on his car, trying to say nice things about Izzy, but there's clearly some pain in that family. I'm guessing dad left mom just because it's a stereotype. Dad left mom for a younger woman, didn't fight for her because mom was there. This looks like an Airbnb. And mom says, kind of echoes, didn't fight for us or me or something. And so that to me said, ooh, there's some pain there. There's some hurt. This isn't their family home. That's why she didn't know how to get there. So something didn't come together for me. But I really do get the feeling that he just can't afford that lifestyle. And watch how uncomfortable he feels, because when Izzy is uncomfortable, watch his body language. He chews cheek. And he does it a lot in their conversations. He chews the inside of his mouth. He's really uncomfortable. So I just don't see that couple is both going to say yes. Let me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm reviewing The Golden Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise. So much content coming your way on my YouTube channel. But let me know, because I couldn't do this without you. And I just want to see, did you see any other golden nuggets that I missed on season 5? Is there any other way to recover what otherwise is just a hot mess?